This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
Welcome. I'm John.
Throwback. What is today, Will?
Today is Fandom Friday.
I actually forgot you were going to do that, and you literally just told me you were going to do that. John, why don't you tell everybody about your YouTube channel?
Yeah, no, my name's John. I live in Portland, Oregon. I'm a musician, and my YouTube channel is just a place for me to play music, have fun, make music videos, vlogs, things like that. You can find our music there and on Spotify and anywhere, wherever there's music on the internet, it's there. So, but yeah, that's it. I'm grateful to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
so John, I have a question for you.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, bring it.
What is your favorite donut at Voodoo Donuts?
Captain My Captain.
Okay.
It's Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries is my favorite cereal, and it's a donut with vanilla icing and Captain Crunch.
There's a place where I live that did that actually.
Yeah, it's my favorite. I mean, the bacon maple bar is delicious.
I was gonna ask you if you had that.
It is delicious, and we have a tradition after we play a show here. When we play shows here in Portland, that afterwards we load up the van or whatever cars we're in at the time, and then we go to Voodoo Donuts because they're open 24 hours, and we sit there and we have donuts and talk about the show and all that stuff. But it's still, people here like to trash it. I love it. I think it's an amazing place.
Yeah, my sister used to live in Eugene, and they have one there too.
Yep.
And I would like to go there just to get the chocolate frosted donut or whatever, glazed donut.
Yeah.
And then drink the milk. It's like this is the greatest combination ever.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, that one has a Bigfoot in it.
Yes. Oh, it's awesome.
All right, guys. What is today, Will?
I already said it. It's Fandom Friday, Chris.
I don't know why I did that. Okay, it's all good. So other than our musician friend at the bottom here, all right, we're going to be talking about some music that we like today. And I think we forgot to plug this all week, but he also has a Twitch channel, and he goes on there regularly in between album releases. It's pretty cool to watch his live streams. Plays the harmonica and the guitar at the same time, and he sings. It's impressive. Go check it out. Especially when he does his New York Lights song, meets people from Istanbul. And
that's crazy.
Anyways, we're going to be recommending some music today. It's a little departure from our normal books, video games, TV, that kind of stuff. Music. I don't know why we've always talked about media on Fridays and we never thought to mention music, but today we're going to do it. So
I don't listen to music, that's why.
And Will's going to be like, the Halo 2 soundtrack. No.
It's a good one.
It is good. But we'll let John go first. Why don't you plug some of your favorite artists?
Yeah, absolutely. So this record is one that came out last year. It's from a band called Oso Oso.
How do you spell that?
OSO space OSO.
Oh, okay.
The record is called Basking in the Glow. It is, for me, kind of a throwback emo record. And in all of the right ways. It was kind of before emo became pop punk. That kind of the Good Charlottes and all that stuff, like right before Dashboard, like that was an amazing time for that genre. So this record came out last year, and it just fits right in there, and I love it. I love the songwriting and the sounds of it. And it sounds really good. So check that. I would definitely say that's one of my favorite from last year. And as far as if I was going to go from like an old school, like something older and older, there's a band out of Germany called Neu, and they do instrumental stuff, and they kind of were right before Kraftwerk, so they're like that kind of Kraftwerk on rails kind of vibe, but with real instruments, and I'm a big fan. NEU for them.
Okay.
Yeah, and 2 is the record that I appreciate. I like the most from them, but yeah, I just think those are two kind of interesting worlds. But yeah, check them out. There's the noise stuff is really cool because you can just put it on in the background and kind of just work to it. Oso is a little bit more lyrics based, so it's you can pay attention if you want to, or you can just put it on the background.
Cool. Very cool. I'll make sure to tag both those artists when we release this video.
Perfect.
What do you got, Will?
All right, so the band that I'm going to recommend has gotten kind of mainstream recently, but I like their older stuff when they weren't super mainstream and super weird. The Avett Brothers.
What is it?
The Avett Brothers.
Avett. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so they got really big for that. The one album the I and Love and You
Hmm.
album, and they got really big after that. But I liked them before, where I actually saw them a couple times in Ann Arbor and in DC play in like a bar, like a seedy bar. So you can like be right up there and see them, like they're spitting on you while they're singing, and that at that point they actually like if you listen to those songs at that time, like 2002, 2004 area, they it was like screamo and bluegrass.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting combination. So like it was a bluegrass song, and all of a sudden like one of them starts screaming. It's like, this does not fit in this song at all, but it's great. And I really like hold on, I always forget the name. It's let's see.
Band or song?
I'm trying to look up the album. I always forget the album name.
Oh, is it emotionalism?
Um,
That's one of my favorite Avett Brothers, and it was before I and Loving You. So I'm
Emotionalism
I'm in
was
the camp.
good.
I'm in
Yeah,
that
so I was
camp with
actually
you.
going to pick the two before it.
Ah,
So
yes.
the Maisonette and Four Thieves Gone. I like those two albums the most.
Yeah,
I actually got them both
cool.
signed
Oh,
in person.
wow.
Yeah.
Did I spell that wrong? Oh, there it is. It's with a G.
Okay.
Okay, that's why.
Yep.
Is that
really-
is it mignonette? Like filet mignon?
I honestly have no idea how to pronounce it.
Okay.
So I just like those albums a lot. So I listen to those all the time. I have them in my car still to this day.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I listen to all kinds of genres. So I like Little Big Town. If we were gonna go country,
Cool. Little Big Time Pound Tune.
yeah, Pontoon, Motor Boatin'. That's a great song. Or Boondocks. I just jammed out to that today, and then I like
Oh yeah, there's a show called Boondocks.
Dead
I
Man's
forgot.
Bones. Have you ever heard of that band? It's Ryan Gosling's band.
What?
No way. I got it. I'm in.
Yeah, it is
I gotta
super
hear it.
super weird.
What is it called? Dead Bones?
Dead Man's Bones.
Oh,
So look
Bones.
up,
I
Papa
said-
Power.
I said I had the wrong name in there. We're gonna plug to whoever this is, Dead Man's Band.
That one. Dead Man's Bones.
Papa
and
Power.
Papa Power. I highly recommend that song.
Okay.
What's really cool about this is that wherever town he goes to, he gets like a local children's choir to sing the backup.
Huh.
So it's like Halloween theme-ish, and it's kind of creepy. And he tries to like crack jokes the entire time, so it's very awkward, and it's great.
Cool,
Yeah.
man. So, all right, I'm gonna actually name drop this band that the YouTube algorithm actually worked once, believe it or not. It worked really well. I wound up on this band, which I would describe as like Mumford and Sons if they were mixed with country.
Hmm.
They've got a song that's starting to blow up. I was kind of surprised that it hadn't blown up more than it did, but I think I watched this when it had about 1,100 views.
Oh, wow.
It's called Dear Me, but they have this song called it's called Macedonia. Macedonia, is that? No, I think I'm saying this wrong now. It's the lyric though. When I first heard it, because the lyric is like I gotta find it. Brain's not working. I think it's
Brains are overrated.
yeah.
Mhm.
Minnedosa. That my brain never quite gets it right because this is a Canadian band, so they know Minnedosa. I don't. I thought this was a play on the word Minnesota when I first heard it. I thought they were like, "Oh, I'm so drunk I couldn't pronounce Minnesota," but no, that's not it. They're talking about how like you can get kind of lost in a town where you can't get out of that town, and I think that was the whole point of the song was they got kind of stuck in this town where they couldn't get out of it because that's where they grew up, and they were like just kind of like they just felt stuck. So the song is like Minnedosa, Manitoba. Can't remember the last time he was sober, and then I think they sobered up after this. But anyways, it's about how the town has a drinking problem essentially, and they're part of it, and they're trying to get out of that town with music, and it's just a cool song with really great harmonies. And then they wrote this song "Dear Me," which this is my favorite song by them, and it's blowing up for good reasons. If 135,000 is blowing up, I think it is. I'm not 100% sure anymore. YouTube's weird.
You take what you can get, man.
But this song
that's a great number.
This is a great song, and it's kind of a self introspection, exploratory type song, but it has a lot of feeling like Mumford and Sons mixed with like a folksy country band. Also electric guitar. But I really love this band, and I hope that they make it because they produce some great music.
That's awesome. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, definitely go. I'll send you a link later if you want. And the other band I was gonna say, I liked him well before he was famous. Believe it or not, I had all of his mixtapes in like the 2000s. And I kept saying, this guy's going to make it. My brother, I remember when he first had released, what was that called? It had the faux gator. I fell off the wagon. Okay. I'm not really a big fan of him anymore, but his old stuff is fantastic. I couldn't believe the kind of stuff he was producing independently back when. And I absolutely loved it. And then he went mainstream, and I don't know, something about him going mainstream turned me off of his music a little bit. I don't know. He changed significantly. I think that was the part that got me. I hope that as artists get bigger, they retain some of their core value, and I feel like he's coming back to it now. But I really did enjoy him quite a bit when I first listened to him, and I just fallen off that wagon. I don't know. Maybe hip hop's not my thing anymore. I don't know. Dashboard Confessional. I was glad you mentioned them. I love Dashboard Confessional.
Yeah.
That's one of my like the Spider-Man soundtrack when he got on there with Vindicated. That was probably one of his first big hits because I love that song. And then Hands Down was a great song. Stolen though, by far, Stolen is my favorite song by him.
That record with Hands Down, it was a Mark and Mission, A Brand of Scar, I think is the record. That was, I loved that album. I think that, in my opinion, has one of the, and I haven't listened to it in a while, so I can't necessarily say it carried through, but at that time that had some of the best drums I'd heard in a long time.
Oh yeah, it's great. And there's an acoustic version that was available through an iTunes session, also great. This dude sounds good acoustically, but also with rock guitars going on. He's got just a great emo pop kind of voice, like you were saying, but he wrote kind of more in depth and deeper songs than some of the other emo pop stars at the time. And then Stolen though, I'm still mad that the version that they released on iTunes is like a sped up tempo, and they removed some different version of this song. The version I got came from the Dashboard Confessional. Hold on, I have the CD. I'll look it up later. But anyways, there's two different versions of this song. If you just type in Dashboard Confessional Stolen slower on YouTube, you can find the old version. And I think the slower version is way, way better. Like it just doesn't sound as like the only reason I know there's a faster version. It's funny because everybody always had listened to the faster version. I didn't even know that existed until they played it on this TV show Scrubs, and I was like, wait, did they speed up the song? And I looked it up on iTunes, and it was a shorter duration of total song length, and I was like, what? So I had to buy it to figure out what was going on. So I ended up buying his album, and then I bought the song again later to see what the difference was. So I have both versions in my iTunes account. But the slower version, in my opinion, by far is better. And I'm still sad that they didn't release that version with the music video. So, but yeah, Dashboard Confessional is one of my all-time favorites. And the Yellow Card, I listened to both of them at the same time.
Oh, Yellow. I mean, you're gonna love the Oso Oso record.
I'm gonna have to check them out. I will.
Yeah,
for
you're
sure
gonna love that record if you like that stuff. Because I that Yellow Card record, I remember the first one, that kind of their bigger one. It was right in the Dashboard world, and that Oso Oso record fits right into that world. You're gonna love it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Trying to think of this. I think there was one more band I wanted to plug, but I for the life of me, I can't remember what they were.
Well, here's a random bit of nostalgia. Do you remember on CDs how there were hidden tracks?
Yeah.
Oh.
And you couldn't skip to it. You had to play through the songs to get to them.
Yep.
I loved that. I wish we could figure out a way to do that now.
Mm-hmm.
There were some that you actually had to you had to rewind from the first track. Like that was Less Than Jake was this ska band from Florida, and if you got to the first song and you just hit rewind and held it down, it would go into negative, and it was this entire conversation, and it was cool. I kind of I miss that kind of part about music these days.
You reminded me, Goldfinger.
Oh yes, did you see that video of them? The one recently where, or maybe I'm thinking of a different band. Hang on.
They did Superman from the
Yes,
Tony Hawk's
okay.
Pro Skater.
Yes. So they just did a video, kind of a quarantine video about that.
Oh, did
I don't
they?
know if you can bleep me out if
No,
if
quarantine's fine.
aberrant. Okay, good. But yeah, and Mike from MXPX is in it, which I didn't know he played with them right now. So
it's so funny to me when you see like these big like artists that I would consider really big having like 36,000 subs on YouTube, and it's like, but they have like millions of views on their videos sometimes. Like specifically, I saw on Superman they had 2.3 million, right? Not Fort Atlantic big on views, but
but I think that what I would, and we can cut this out if you want to, but I think that goes back to the point, like I don't think bands are using YouTube properly as a hub for their world. They're just kind of throwing up music videos and doing stuff like, that was doing vlogs and having a place to connect with people. I think that they would have way more subscribers if they had some other kind of series that they could put up that was easy to do and lo-fi. And anyway, I'm gonna get off my high horse over here.
No, I think what you're doing is the right way to attack YouTube as a musical artist.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Will
you tell YouTube?
you're one of the few musical artists that I actually was willing to subscribe to. The biggest problem is what I described this earlier. YouTube is an encyclopedia. If you know how to search the index, you can find whatever you want. So people don't want to subscribe to a music channel necessarily. They just want to listen to the music every once in a while.
Right.
Yep.
If you have a reason to keep coming back, like the vlog, it's an actual like piece of content I can look forward to every once in a while hearing, then you subscribe to that. The YouTube is not a place where people usually subscribe to a one-off album or a musical artist one time.
Right.
And that's why what you were saying, I think Twitch is the right place to do live music.
Yeah.
And YouTube is the place for an index of your music.
Agreed. I love that. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
So, anyways, do you guys have anything else you want to add to that?
I can plug one more band.
Go ahead.
Walk Off the Earth.
Oh yes, they're awesome.
I love Walk Off the Earth.
They're the ones that do all the covers and stuff, but they also write their own music, right?
Yes, I love the original music, and a lot of the covers I actually prefer to the original song.
This one was
I'm not gonna
amazing.
say which ones.
This one was amazing. I can't believe they
this
did
might be
one.
the first
yeah.
one, right?
It might be, but they're doing this song on one guitar was I was just blown away. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, well, their music videos are so much fun to watch because they're always doing something weird like this, or they're playing on some weird instrument or something like that. Like look up the Adele song cover. I don't remember. Hello from the Other Side, or just Hello, I guess is the name of the song.
I don't think I've seen that one. I might have to check that out later. Hello.
And they're just doing it in the garage, and these guys are like, they use their zippers for part of the music, and then there's these cymbals on top where they actually are kicking it, or cymbals. And at the end, like they're talking to their neighbors because apparently their neighbors like walked up and started listening to their music in the garage. It's great. And also looks like he's like in a baby outfit. I don't know what's going on, but
Can you imagine if you found out like Walk Off the Earth was your neighbor? Like these guys, what's going on?
That would be pretty cool.
Anyways, the one I heard from them first was actually Magic, their B.O.B. cover. That was pretty cool. Just out of curiosity, how many covers do you have on YouTube besides the one we talked about earlier, the Christmas one? Do you have a lot on there or not really?
No, actually. And that is something that I have always wanted to do. Because I just, I think I think in some ways when we come back to the whole point about discovery and stuff on YouTube and being a search engine, like you can, that is whatever. Yeah. So covers can drive people there. But what you're talking about with your friend and the microwave stuff earlier, like you want to make sure that people understand that you're not a cover. You know what I mean? Like you don't want them coming back for just covers and expecting covers because anyway, you guys just have to be really careful with that stuff because I've seen people who are like, they'll get one of their videos will blow up and then they keep doing that over and over again and they burned out quickly. So
who's this guy?
Yeah, that's me. Long time ago. That was I call that my Beatles India phase. And then that was I lived in Alabama, and that's my buddy Elliot. He lives in Memphis now, but we did like a house tour. We drove around. It was fun. That's actually one of my favorite tours. Actually, he and I had a fun time. That was we actually. This is sorry to. I'm gonna. You please
Go
cut
ahead.
all this out.
Nope.
But that was the first place I kind of experimented with the idea of what later became the vlog, right? Well, became a vlog. But like we filmed a bunch of footage, and like on our cheap phones. And then all of a sudden, we made enough money over the shows that I went and bought like a nice Canon HD camera.
Mm-hmm.
And so like we started filming stuff on there. No idea where any of it went. so that was we were documenting it all, and it's probably not. The tape is probably destroyed already. But yeah, that's fun. That was
So besides Goodbye Golden Age, there's another album, and the song actually it's on my iTunes. I can look it up, but I can't remember what the name of the other album you did was under the Jon Black name. But I found people are selling these on eBay. If you didn't know.
Oh yes, I know. And there's a funny story behind that. It's not me, but one of them is a guy that I know, and Tim, our bass player, has been harassing him in the funniest troll way for like over a year, just like making just way undercutting him for like bidding on it, and then he'll get it denied, and then he'll like lower it by a nickel and like reset. He's been doing that for so long, and the guy selling is not going to listen to this. And so anyway, that's yeah.
That's hilarious. It's Dry Ground though. I remember it now. It's called Dry Ground. And my favorite song on that one is "You Are Not Alone." It's a really good song, by the way. You should re-release it and put it somewhere where people can access it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some stuff with the old Jon Black stuff. I think that it's been, I've revisited some of it recently, and think that there's a place for it somehow. So
excellent, cool. So my last artist I'm recommending is Jon Black.
Watch out.
Anyways, so if anybody's got anything else to add it now. Bunch of people staring at the camera.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right, cool. I want to thank Jon Black from Fort. I can't pronounce any words right now. I want to thank Jon Black from Fort Atlantic for coming on here and
thank you so much.
Yeah, I thank you guys for having me. This has been a blast to sit and talk about things that I love talking about, and I don't get to do this very often. Most of the time I'm talking to a 4-year-old about not jumping off of something. So yeah, this is great.
Children have no respect for their own safety.
I know, it's both beautiful and frightening.
As always, I'm Chris.
I'm Will.
Oh, crap. Hold on.
Oh, I was going to do it.
Get it.
All right, go ahead. Let's start over.
I'm still gonna say as always I'm Chris though.
Okay.
I just said it.
Oh, and I'm Will.
I'm John.
And we'll see you
on the next CHRILLCAST.
Whoa.
Bye.